What if everything you are chasing, the success, the milestones, the carefully curated idea of a perfect life, was never designed to bring you real peace in the first place? What if the perfect partner, the dream career, the ideal city were only distractions dressed up as fulfillment, not the actual source of meaning? That question didn't come to me overnight. It arrived slowly, through loss, through silence, through a kind of forced stillness I never asked for. My name is Lara, and today I want to share something that took me 5 decades of living, and almost everything being taken away, to finally understand. For most of my life, I believed that living meant doing more, doing faster, doing harder. From the second my feet hit the floor in the morning to the moment my body collapsed back into bed at night, my life was powered by constant motion. Years passed like that. Not days, not months, years and years and years of relentless momentum. I didn't pause. I didn't reflect. I didn't ask myself the uncomfortable questions. I never stopped to wonder, am I actually living my own story? Or am I unknowingly performing a script written by society, by expectations, by silent pressure? There was no space to slow down, no room for contemplation, no permission for stillness. And then, life made the decision for me. I became seriously ill, not briefly, not dramatically for a moment, but deeply, chronically, relentlessly sick. For over 10 years, my body quietly dismantled the life I had built. I lost my career identity. I lost the titles I worked so hard to earn. I lost the achievements that once defined my worth. Eventually, I even lost my independence. I couldn't drive. I couldn't move freely. I spent more time lying in bed than living the life I once chased. And when every external label is stripped away, when productivity disappears, when achievement no longer props you up, a terrifying question emerges. Who are you without all of that? That season was dark, emotionally heavy, existentially confronting, but it also became the doorway to something I never expected. A quiet, uncomfortable, yet profound journey of self-discovery. I didn't choose this path, but it chose me. And through that unraveling, through the physical pain and emotional grief, I learned truths that no success seminar, no productivity book, no motivational speech ever taught me. Truths that only arrive when life forces you to stop running. One of the first lessons came from my own body. When your body or your mind whispers that it needs rest, that signal is not weakness, it is wisdom. Looking back, there were countless moments when I could have slowed down, moments when my body sent early warnings, gentle nudges, quiet red flags, but I ignored them. I pushed forward anyway, until one day I was completely leveled. I learned this the hard way. You eventually pay the price for how you choose to live, not as punishment, but as consequence. Life always collects its dues. Another realization followed shortly after. If your attention constantly lives in what's next, you miss what is happening now. When I was healthy, my mind lived 3 steps ahead of my body, always planning, always anticipating, always racing toward the next milestone. I was never fully present. This experience taught me something painfully simple. The present moment is the only place life actually happens. When your mind lives in the future, that's where anxiety lives. That's where fear breeds. Most of my anxiety came from imagining outcomes that never arrived, symptoms that might get worse, scenarios that hadn't happened yet. Right now, yes, there may be discomfort, but there is also beauty and connection and meaning right here. The present moment is not empty. It is rich if you allow yourself to be in it. Live for now. Be fully all in for this moment. Because this moment is not rehearsing for life. This is life. Another lesson unfolded slowly, quietly, almost invisibly. Instead of obsessing over what is missing, I learned to notice what is already here. We are trained, almost programmed, to scan our lives for gaps, for deficiencies, for the next thing we believe will finally complete us. Culture rewards dissatisfaction. It whispers that happiness lives just one achievement away, one purchase away, one upgrade away. But that story is deeply flawed. I realized how much I had taken for granted only after those things were no longer guaranteed. Simple abilities, ordinary moments, basic functions of the body that once required no thought at all. I remember thinking, I should have been more grateful while I had this. Now, gratitude feels different. It feels grounded, earned. I have a very close friend in his 90s. His name is Marvin. He lives in assisted living, and he often tells me stories that quietly rearrange my perspective. He talks about people with Parkinson's, where lifting a fork, bringing food to their mouth is an exhausting, heroic effort. Think about that. When was the last time you sat down for a meal and felt genuine appreciation for the ability to eat without struggle, to hold a fork steadily, to chew without pain, to swallow without fear? We rarely notice what works until it stops working. We rarely honor what we have until it is threatened. Gratitude is not denial of hardship. It is recognition of abundance within limitation. No matter your situation, there is something around you worth acknowledging. A roof over my head, nourishing food, a warm bed that held me at night, a partner who cared deeply, a dog whose presence felt like medicine. There was more than I allowed myself to see, but you have to slow down to notice these things. You have to look around, and just as importantly, you have to look within. Another truth emerged soon after. Stop waiting. Stop waiting for the perfect timing, the perfect job, the perfect relationship, the perfect version of yourself. That moment rarely arrives. If you feel a quiet stirring inside you, a subtle pull, a gentle nudge towards something meaningful, pay attention. That impulse exists for a reason. I used to believe joy was something I had to earn, back once my health returned, but reality had other plans. I am healthier now, but I may never be completely free from everything my body carries. And that realization was sobering. It forced me to ask a deeper question. Do I postpone my life indefinitely, or do I learn how to experience meaning now? So many people delay living. They wait, they hesitate, they overthink. They analyze every angle until momentum disappears. And over time, waiting becomes a habit. Opportunities quietly pass by, one after another. Listening to your inner signal, that sensation, that internal pull, and acting on it, that is a practice worth cultivating. Life opens when you respond. Your time and your attention are your most valuable currencies. Not money, not status. Attention determines how you feel, what you believe, the choices you make. Every screen, every notification, every headline is competing for that currency. It's overwhelming. So, ask yourself honestly, does what you give your attention to expand you or diminish you? Does it move you closer to who you want to become or further away? I spent years consumed by worry, by worst-case scenarios, by fear loops that offered no solutions. It was difficult to see a hopeful path forward while my focus was locked on negativity. But when I consciously redirected my attention toward healing, toward practices that built me up and away from triggers that made me feel less than, everything shifted. Not overnight, but meaningfully. There was another shift that changed everything for me. It required courage, the kind of courage that doesn't look loud or dramatic, but feels uncomfortable, quiet, and deeply personal. Stepping outside your comfort zone is rarely glamorous. For me, it wasn't one giant leap. It was a series of small, trembling steps. Some areas of my life felt easier to face. Others felt almost impossible. But I pushed myself anyway. Doing something like sharing my voice publicly, standing in front of a camera, speaking honestly about my inner world, that version of me did not exist before. The old version stayed hidden, safe, contained. But something changed. I felt an undeniable pull to contribute, to speak, to connect. Because what I've learned didn't just heal me, it reshaped how I see life itself. And I believe deeply, if I can experience this kind of transformation, then others can too. This world doesn't need perfection right now. It needs authentic connection. Courage doesn't require a grand stage. Sometimes it's just a nudge, a gentle challenge to yourself. When you act, even imperfectly, even clumsily, something powerful happens. You feel self-respect grow, not because of the outcome, but because you showed up. Effort matters more than results. Trying matters more than winning. Another truth I learned feels simple, yet most people rarely practice it. And tell people how much they matter to you. If someone has supported you, inspired you, stood beside you, or simply made your life lighter, say it. Say it clearly. Express appreciation. Name what you value about them. It strengthens relationships. It softens hearts. It changes energy. And it changes you too. Now, I want to leave you with something that took me nearly 50 years to understand. You are enough. You were born enough. I didn't believe that for most of my life. And let me be honest with you. Repeating the phrase, "I am enough," after decades of believing otherwise, doesn't magically rewire your nervous system. At first, it feels hollow, unauthentic. Feeling enough is not a declaration. It is a daily practice. It's treating yourself with kindness when you fall short. It's offering yourself compassion instead of criticism. It's choosing to believe in yourself. Even when doubt shows up uninvited, feeling enough is something you nurture, like a living organism. You feed it daily, you protect it. You remove the weeds of negative self-talk and silence the inner critic that tells you you're behind, different, or not measuring up. I realized something liberating. Being different isn't a flaw. I don't want to blend into the herd. I want to be myself. Fully. Honestly. And I choose to believe in that version of me. So, do one kind thing for yourself today. Not tomorrow, not someday, today. And while you're at it, extend that kindness to someone else. These lessons didn't just shift my mindset, they reshaped my relationships, my priorities, my sense of peace. They changed my life from the inside out. If they resonated with you, then something in you already knows. It's time to slow down, to listen, to choose presence over pressure. Thank you for spending this time with me. I'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourself.